Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in raw.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, a little notify bell next to it. Make sure you always get your new Going in Raw notifications.
Yeah.
We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We have a variety of reward tiers over there. We got bonus episodes at the $5 mark, which you can also get by becoming a YouTube channel member. Just hit join here on the YouTube channel page.
Yeah, that's right.
Got a couple new patrons. Omega Therion is back in the fold.
Welcome.
Therion. Junkie Monkey, Tiger Mask, Tim Morris, Sean Volman, and Connor D.
Thank you.
Thank you to all. We're going to review AEW Dynamite, but first up, give me my title back.
Oh, you went back?
Give me my title back. I'm very pleased with my picks. Get over here.
I was pleased with my picks.
I'm very happy with my picks.
Although
well, you shouldn't be.
When I saw that
title holder.
Candice versus Shayna wasn't main eventing, I was like, oh, okay. Candice for sure isn't winning now.
Yeah, going into it, I was like, oh, that was a bad pick. But got my title back.
Well, still our title. You
Not
can
really
hold
back.
on to it.
What's that?
That's still our title.
It's my title.
Get out of here with
no,
that.
Screw you. I'm going to take this around town. I'm going to make a video.
You're going to get so tired of that.
I'm going to bash you. See, here's the thing. This is what I want to do with
That's
this title.
completely unwarranted.
Whenever you... No, it isn't. It's very warranted. I'm champion. You're just a dullard with a small brain. See, I'm already bashing you. Oh, I feel bad now.
You should.
I love you,
it's
man.
Completely unwarranted.
You got a big boy brain. See, and then when you get the title back, probably this Sunday, you can bash me.
I wouldn't do that, though.
Really?
No, I'm above that.
Why not?
I'm a better person than that.
You bash me plenty. Oh, crap. You're already bashing me. calling yourself a better person.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
I'll do it low key.
You swerved me. Oh, man. So anyways, AEW Dynamite, man. Let's just hop into this thing. What did you think about it?
It was fun.
Man.
It was. It's early on. I mean, granted, part of it is they're obviously running larger buildings, and they're wisely keeping the house lights up so you can see the size of the crowd for the most part. But more so than that, it's a very colorful presentation.
Yes,
it's bright.
It is.
It's very colorful, and that's a stark contrast. Part of the reason I know they keep the house lights down NXT is because I think to a certain degree they want to hide how small the venue is. Also, it's the atmosphere they've been running with the show for a long time, and it works for NXT fine. I'm not going to say a bingo hall because the production value is way above a bingo hall. But they want the indie show feel.
Yeah. Do you think it's that they want to hide the crowd, or they just want to emphasize that this is an intimate
It's probably a little both.
I'm not sure if it's like shame necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, because Triple H just recently spoke highly of Full Sail and wanting to stay there because the atmosphere there is top notch. But we've said, I think you've had the concern that in terms of optics, NXT is going to look like the lesser show because they're not selling out or putting shows on these huge venues and selling them out.
Yeah.
And maybe, now that they're on USA, one of the reasons they're for sure going to keep the house lights more or less low is to, rather than hide the crowd, to focus what's going on squarely in the ring.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's a diplomatic way of putting it.
I think you're right about that. AEW felt, and it's funny because when I watched it, it did totally feel from Shivani being there to just the fact that it wasn't WWE. It felt like a really good episode of Nitro, right down to...
They weren't shying away from referencing WCW all
No,
over the place
they weren't.
either.
In the
like
very
an obvious
beginning,
touchstone.
Shivani was talking about Jushin Liger versus Pillman opening up the first episode of Nitro.
And then JR said they had the same match on WCW in like 90 or 91.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple times where they referenced WCW.
And it felt vibrant. It felt alive. You saw a crowd that wasn't ready to like... WWE crowds, they are ready. They understand what they want to crap on. They know what they don't like.
Well, and they prime themselves for it.
They prime the AEW. The crowd is enthusiastic to be there. It's an event. They're happy to be there, and they like the crowd. Everything. It's, to me, the color scheme was reminiscent of. I know you saw part of it, Thor Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. The colors used in Thor Ragnarok where there was a lot of different colors going on, but it was all used very stylishly, and it wasn't gaudy. And with AEW, they know how to use their color, and it enhances the broadcast.
Yeah, it totally does.
It surprises me when I saw it. I was thinking to myself, why did Vince McMahon, and this is, look, I'm not going to sit here and just knock WWE, because I think WWE has a lot of awesome things going for it. I really do. We saw that last night with NXT. We personally have enjoyed SmackDown for a very long time. One thing that I've realized with AEW is, and watching NXT also last night, and we've known this with SmackDown for a while now, 2 hours is enough.
Yeah.
2 hours, you can do everything you want in 2 hours. You really can't. You do not need a 3-hour show.
Nope. It's all about time management.
But all the things that, like, over the years, Vince McMahon has kind of gotten rid of, like, I don't know, video entrance videos, which, yeah, it's a small thing, but we used to love those, you know? It's like, oh, man, did you see his entrance video? It's funny. We did the same thing with, like, the Best Friends. Now, it's like, oh, it's so silly. It's
amazing,
awesome.
yeah.
It's great. It's the little things. And even, I know you're not, like, a big fan of it, but, like, the opening music intro.
Like Dynamite, NXT, they didn't have one this week. They had that montage narrated by Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
I didn't mind AEW's because they kept it short.
Yeah.
It was short. It was 30 seconds?
Yeah.
It didn't drone on.
It gets you hyped for the show. Like, there are so many little things that are just fun about the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era, whatever you want to call it, back then, that, like, WWE's kind of stripped away. And AEW brought a lot of those little things back.
Well, here's the thing, and this doesn't apply to everybody. And on camera, I don't get the feeling that a lot of people in WWE are having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas last night, it seemed like, maybe this is just, excitement over the first show, whatever the case may be. It seemed like everybody was having fun.
Well, it was definitely an event, and who knows how that's going to be.
Exactly. I mean, once they're on episode 120, whether that same energy is going to translate or not. And I mean, given the WWE schedule, I would understand completely if you were up to the arena one day for Raw and like, gosh, can't wait to hop on the plane tonight and go home and sleep in my own bed.
Yeah,
totally get that.
And I understand that the WWE sometimes they sometimes want to hide on their main roster shows, just how little people are there, like in the upper decks and stuff. But it's like, man, AEW felt big.
It did.
It felt like big time.
It felt slick. Like the presentation was slick.
It was, yeah. It's honestly like, in terms of like it felt like a real main roster show.
Yeah. There was still some cheesy stuff.
Oh, of course.
We'll get to that. The Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes stuff, pretty cheesy.
That was the most WCW Saturday night stuff ever.
The SCU stuff was kind of cheesy, although Scorpio Sky is great.
He has a really good Barack.
Great Obama
He really does, yeah.
And that was pretty much it. And they kept the action focused in the ring, and yet I felt like stories were developing.
Yeah.
Whereas in NXT was good. I'm not gonna make it come off like I'm slamming it, because it was an enjoyable show. They had these 3 title matches, and I don't necessarily felt like the results of any of them necessarily advanced any stories per se on a large scale. You had a couple of returns that dominated the show.
I think they resolved some stories. Like, I don't see the Street Profits coming back around for the tag titles.
Not at all. No.
Candice seems to be done with
at
this point.
I know.
Anyways.
And while the spotlight and the conversation, I think, is going to be on NXT about the 2 massive returns, I kind of felt like, to a certain extent, it did a bit of disservice to the people who were wrestling before those people came back.
Okay,
Everybody's going to be talking about Finn and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Whereas, man, imagine if Candice had won in the main event.
Should we get into that on the NXT review?
We will.
Okay.
I just want to touch on that because I think
we're in uncharted territory because, like, it's I think Zayn is doing a combined thing.
And I think this is, since it's the first time they're head to head, and I'm just on a macro level talking from a storyline perspective, where it felt like, and granted, this is the first episode of AEW television. Even if I did a minimal amount of storytelling, you're just going to feel like, oh, huge story development, because this is our first indication of where they're really going to go long term.
Sure.
Whereas NXT, they've got how many, like 500 episodes under the belt or something like that.
AEW has the benefit of a blank canvas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's felt like at least one major story beat based on the action in ring would have been nice for NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead, it was like, okay, it's a good episode with a couple huge returns. Yeah. That's kind of what it felt like.
No, I feel you. I thought NXT focused on and it'll be interesting to see if this matters to the WWE. That's a whole other story. And I don't know if we should do like a video essay on it or what, but if AEW, let's say it gets crazy and they do 2 million out the gate,
which we should be finding out about 3 hours what the ratings look like.
And let's say NXT stays at 1 million. Is Triple H okay with that? Is Vince okay with that?
I think Triple H would be okay with it based on what happened on NXT last night and thinking, okay, we got a couple huge names now back in NXT. Let's see if that gets some word of mouth going.
Yeah.
Some people that maybe just watch main roster who's a really huge fan of a particular person who's now in NXT.
I'm talking 6 months from now.
Well, that's a different story entirely.
Is it? I'll put it this way. If USA is happy, is Vince McMahon happy? Even if AEW is doing double what NXT is
Probably
doing?
Not.
You think so?
He's a competitive dude.
Yeah. I do wonder if they're going to take a look at, because AEW does look bigger. It looks, I don't want to say more legit, but they also have bigger household names in Jericho and maybe Moxley. Would that prompt them to take it on tour and light it up a bit more? Will you see NXT morph into what looks like a main roster show? Because I honestly think that they might interpret that as the difference maker is the scope of the broadcast. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe.
I don't know. But then would they go that route if the numbers aren't on par with Raw and SmackDown? Because like Raw and SmackDown right now are already struggling to fill houses with numbers that are at least double what NXT is doing. So if you're getting 1 million viewers each week, would you feel confident taking NXT on the road to even 2,000 to 3,000 seat venues?
If you make a big deal about it, I would think I mean, you see how quickly takeovers fill up.
Yeah. But those are still special things, you know.
Yeah.
You only get 4 or 5 of those a year.
Yeah.
And most parts of the country, you might have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 years before you get a takeover.
Sure.
You know, again.
Yeah.
So if they're in your neighborhood, you go.
I mean, already AEW is having troubles like selling out their 10th episode 11.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You know,
sure.
But if they put together 2, 3, or 4 weeks of really good TV in a row, I wouldn't be surprised to see an uptick in ticket sales.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. I don't know. It's all.
But they're not
interesting.
They're not
questions.
really going. AEW's not really trying to fill arenas the size of the Capital One Center, because that's a pretty large arena.
Right. Yeah.
They're going more mid-sized, 5, 6, 7,000 seat venues.
Sure.
It seems for the second stretch of shows.
And I mean, if WWE is happy, like just with 1 million, like, do they really expect NXT to outdo? Maybe they will. Like there was like on Reddit, on the Squared Circle Reddit, there was like a really small. There was the numbers for the San Diego market, I think, were out, and they showed that NXT was performing really well there.
Yeah.
But then I think Meltzer had it that like AEW. What did you say? It was like the 3rd most watched.
Dynamite did 3 times the numbers that NXT did on View.
On the PlayStation View.
Yeah. And it's the third most watched show of the night on that platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's according to Meltzer.
Oh, by the way, before we dive into AEW details, the show rundown, I had to get cable. I got cable. I got my own cable. No longer living on the wrong side of the law, Larson.
You tape that cord back together, huh?
It's actually cheaper for me to get because I had like ridiculously fast internet at home. Now I have slightly less fast, but it's still really fast, and cable, and it's like $40 cheaper to do this.
Yeah.
So who'd have thought? Living legal is actually cheaper.
Crime doesn't pay, Steve.
You got that right, buddy boy. Anyways, let's kick this off. You know where I get buddy boy from? The streets of San Francisco. Oh. Carl Malden used to call that to Kirk Douglas or Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas all the time. So he really wouldn't be able to say that to Kirk Douglas, because Kirk Douglas is probably older than he is.
Yeah.
So AEW show opens up with a new video package opening, cold open. I guess not cold open, it's a video package. Show starts with commentary. You get the full-on introduction of Tony Schiavone back at the broadcast table.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost a step, man. He sounds great.
Yeah, man. Schiavone sounds great.
Still
he
on
sounds,
point.
man.
And he's going to get even better once he's more familiar with their product.
I know. Dude, it is so nice having Schiavone there. I'll be honest, and Excalibur is great.
Yeah. Here's the thing, JR, when he doesn't lose his way, because sometimes he'll be going on a path and he'll like just forget or not think about what he's going to say.
Yeah.
That's when he stumbles. But if he's has a through line he's working with and he sticks with it, he's fine. He's not the JR of old, but we can't expect that.
No, we can't.
but it's just he'll be sitting there saying something, and it seems like, well, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Which happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not, on live television. So that's but it's good. It's good you have Shivani there, who's got the experience of calling play-by-play to help out with that, and you got Excalibur. Both of them could kind of cover for JR in those instances or get him back on track.
Yeah.
There's moments last night where I thought JR was pretty solid.
Okay.
And then towards the tail end, or like the second hour of the show, it felt like it was happening a lot more often, where he'd start on a path and it would just kind of peter out.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll be fine down the road. Like last night, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm into the JR thing. But, he's JR. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And Shivani seems... They both legitimately seem happy to be there. Mm-hmm. Shivani seems incredibly happy to be there, and I think that's awesome.
I know.
Excalibur seems like he's literally... Excalibur comes off as if the experience is as surreal as it probably is, because 6 months ago or whenever it was...
He was telling people to recycle at a PWG show.
Right.
And now...
He's on TNT.
He's got an AEW blazer on.
Next to Shivani and JR.
I know.
That's got to be insane.
I wonder if there's any pressure on... I'm guessing not. Because you have these two huge, really well-known names in wrestling circles doing your announcing. You have Shivani and JR. And I'm sure it was, I'm not sure, I'll wager a guess that it was probably the Young Bucks who were pushing for Excalibur to join the team, given their history in PWG. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there's any pressure on them to go with a more well-known name.
I don't know.
Because Excalibur's been doing commentary on PWG shows for a long time.
By all accounts, Tony Khan is very involved in everything.
I know.
I'm not sure if he had to be convinced. Maybe he was like, you know what, this guy, like PWG, I'll take him.
Yeah.
In a second.
Yeah.
I would, I'd like to think.
And there was one moment where Excalibur alluded to PWG, however, did not say the letters PWG.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It was when Rick Knox was reffing the main event.
Oh.
He said, Rick Knox, he's a really experienced ref, and he's refereed some of the most intense, crazy matches of the last 20 years.
Oh, that's good.
PWG
of
tag
course,
matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan versus
Guerrilla
the Young
Warfare
Bucks.
match, yes. Yeah. So, commentary throws to a Cody Sammy Guevara video package.
I like this. This is how they're going to tell stories to build up to their matches, like their
stuff.
video recap package. This is great. Mm-hmm. This is awesome.
And then we got the first match. Cody comes out first with Brandy. Entrance, everything, $1 million. Mm-hmm. Had some fire, some pyro. Mm-hmm. His song's
great. So they had like two tunnels,
and then they had the thing in the middle.
They had
like a chandelier.
It was like a transporter pad.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and
and behind him was a Tron, a small square Tron that mostly just had the TNT logo on it.
Yeah. I realized who Cody kind of reminds me of when he's wearing his entrance gear. Rutger Hauer. Sorry, from like Blade Runner, because he's got that sort of shock bleach blonde hair, and he has like almost his like. He looks like a Dune character. That's what he reminds me of.
That. More like Sting.
He's like Sting.
The bass player, not the wrestler in the movie Dune, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, the bass player.
Yeah.
The musician, sorry.
He's just the bass player.
I just think of that picture. I thought that picture of Sting and Sting both playing bass on stage. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have.
So that's why I just said the bass player,
picture
not the wrestler.
Sting. Yeah. What did you think of this match, Cody versus?
It was
Sammy
solid.
Guevara?
I mean, Cody isn't the he's not like the equal of Kenny or the Young Bucks in the ring, but he can tell a good story, and that's what they pulled off here. Because early on, it was Sammy with the quickness advantage. What's going on there?
Yeah, my tea got a little cold. It's a little like lukewarm now. But it's still good. Still tea.
Yeah, it's probably good for your.
Still helps my throat. Yeah, my vocals.
Your pipes.
Yeah, I didn't lose my voice entirely this time.
Well, the week's not over yet. We got a lot of talking today and a lot of talking on tomorrow and then on the Sunday too.
I like that positive attitude of yours.
You can still lose your voice, Steve. Just you wait.
So anyways, let's see here.
Got some mail. Early on it was Sammy using his quickness, his speed, Cody trying to counter it. This is new from Cody. He had an Oz cutter.
That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Oz.
Rhodes cutter, and then Sammy is like, "Hey, I can do that too," and did the springboard cutter. They both got 2 counts on that. At one point, Cody's going for a suicide dive after sending Sammy out to the ringside area. Sammy grabs Brandy and puts her in the path of Cody's suicide dive.
That was nasty.
Yeah, man, she'll take bumps. So Cody goes and checks on Brandy, turns around, Sammy grabs him and rams into the ring post. I think they went to commercial after that, and then back in the ring. Sammy, he goes for a top rope moonsault. Cody gets out of the way. He goes for a standing moonsault. Cody gets out of the way, and then he finally hits a standing shooting star press. That was cool. Then Cody sends Sammy into the ropes. Brandy, was that a high heel? Is that her shoe he hit him with?
I think so.
Hits Sammy with her heel. Cody hits a disaster kick. Only gets a 2, though. This spot was great when Cody was up on the top and hits that reverse superplex.
That was good, yeah.
Only a 2 count, though. Sammy thinks he's got the match won, goes up top for a shooting star press. Cody gets his knees up, rolls up Sammy for the win. Crowd is like 125% behind Cody this whole match.
Yeah.
It was pretty wise to have Cody start the show.
Oh, yeah.
To get the crowd into it immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
And given what happened at the end, good idea having Sammy in there, too.
Yes.
So Tony Schiavone gets in the ring to interview Cody. Cody is just like, he's over the moon, man. He's on cloud nine. He goes there and gives Tony a huge hug.
And Tony's all whispering sweet nothings.
I know. He's trying to be like, I'm professional broadcaster.
Yeah.
And then Sammy comes up to Cody and is like, hey. Like turns him around.
You. Hey, you.
And then extends his hand to shake it.
Yeah.
They shake hands, and then right as that happens, Jericho comes to the ring and lays out Cody.
Sammy just sort of puts his hands up and says, my name's Bennett, and he leaves.
Yeah.
And and then it's just destruction. Through the commercial break, it's picture in picture, Jericho just annihilating Cody.
Yeah.
Everything possible. Chairs, sets up a couple of chairs, suplexes, I think.
No, powerbomb.
That's right, power bombs him on out.
He hits a couple code breakers in the ring. He leaves. He comes back, hits Cody with the championship belt. He goes in the crowd and gets someone's still camera, their DSLR.
Yeah.
Starts taking pictures.
Yeah.
Cody rolls out, and Jericho takes a chair to him, and he sets up the 2 chairs. Power bombs it through it. And then he says, La Champion. Is that what he's calling himself?
Yeah, he says, I am Le Champion of AEW. He gets on the mic. He's up on the ramp.
Yeah.
And, he's just soaking it in. I know this was a really smart move. Jericho is their biggest name in terms of name value.
And he still knows how to get heat, man.
And he knows how to get heat. This is an awesome segment. Followed. I thought, actually, I thought the match was pretty spectacular.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's good.
We've said before, like, Sammy Guevara is really good in the ring. He is, like, he's got the perfect mix of, like, high-flying, cool moves with just some really decent storytelling abilities.
Yeah. And
I'm
Cody,
not sure he is the best ever, like he likes to say, but he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, he's good. And Cody, while he's not the athletic equal of Sammy, he's a really good storyteller.
He's a darn good boy. He's turned into, I mean, if you think of some of the matches he's had, he's one of the best, like, dude, Cody is doing some really, really interesting things, building matches and then telling stories in matches.
Yeah, no.
Like, he's turning storytelling upside down. It's great.
He knows,
it's sort of low key too, because it feels old school.
It is.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah, it does feel old school because he knows how to do a lot with a little.
Yeah.
Like the whole match with Dustin.
Yes.
There's every impactful move, every high spot really meant something in that match.
That match, the match with Aldis, man, it's been so good. And even like the idea of him sort of aligning with MJF, who's like obviously like one of the top heels, but then Cody is still this like he's playing with the face heel dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd get that from Cody. I never thought that happened. But it's just terrific stuff.
It is. Next, we're on to another match. Brandon Cutler versus MJF. MJF comes out, drops promo, pretty basic heel stuff.
Really good one, though.
Yeah. You know, Brandon Cutler, you look like all these losers here in the arena and all the losers watching on TV.
Brandon Cutler really did come off. And I like he just seems like a very genuine person. Like whenever he's on like any of the Road 2s or whatever, he just comes out being the elite.
Yeah.
He just seems like a really genuine person.
Yeah. He really likes his D&D though, because his shirt had like a
dragon with
the die on it,
and
then he had some die on, or his dice on his pants too.
I just love it because he does come off as like a super WCW jobber guy.
Yeah.
But they've managed to give super WCW jobber guy like a ton of personality and like a backstory.
I know.
So it matters when MJF picks up this win. It's like, oh, you feel it, as opposed to nameless dude coming out.
I know.
It's Brandon Cutler.
That's what I kind of like about it. Like Brandon Cutler, I get the impression he's probably not going to win a whole lot of matches.
But you get the feeling he could totally have won this.
Yeah, totally. That's why I didn't have like 9 confidence points. I was pretty sure that MJF was going to win, but at the same time, I was like, they could do some sneaky roll-up type deal. And as you said, if you watch Being the Elite, all the Road 2 stuff, you get a sense about what his character is.
Yeah.
So it's not like, like generic jobber number 1 and they're taking an L to MJF.
Here's the thing. He's going to have a terrible record 3 months from now, But you never know. He could win at some point.
Yeah,
he's not going to go on a winning streak, but he could win any of these because they keep him relevant.
This seems like he could be one of those characters where, as you said, his win-loss record is not going to be anything impressive, but at any point he can get that one win.
He could be a spoiler. He
that
could totally,
one win that's
exactly.
really going to be
so
impactful.
You never really know.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, Matt saw MJF work Cutler's arm early. There was this great spot where Cutler kind of like shakes off the MJF working the armpit suicide dive. Was giving MJF fast hands on the ramp. Then he goes to the top rope, falls off, and then starts like shaking his knee as if he hurt it. And commentary was selling this. I'm assuming that was a story beat. Selling like he hurt his knee on the suicide dive.
Yeah,
because it was I don't know. It seemed like it was clumsy enough that it seemed real, but the way commentary was on it, selling it immediately, made it seem like it was intended.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, Cutler taps to Fujiwara armbar from MJF. MJF picks up the win.
Yeah.
Next, as you mentioned, a scene straight out of WCW Saturday Night circa 1994. We get our first celebrity appearances on AEW. Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes. There's a new Jay and Silent Bob movie coming to theaters on the 11th, I think they said.
It's a reboot. And then Kevin Smith also announced via Instagram that he's written the script for Clerks 3.
Oh, wow.
And he's, I guess, made amends with Jeff Anderson. Is that the dude who plays Randall?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Brian O'Halloran is the guy who plays Dante.
Yeah.
So he's made amends. Apparently there was a rift between him and Randall. He's patched that up. They've all agreed to do Clerks 3.
The band's back together.
I
wonder if Chris Jericho is going to be in Clerks 3 because he's in this Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
It could be. So they also, earlier in the day, the Jay and Silent Bob were the models for the new tag titles, which look great. They look fantastic.
Look like the Fun Disputed Championship.
And here's the thing. Kevin Smith is like super relevant with the people you want him to be relevant with.
Yes.
This is great celebrity exposure for AEW. It's terrific. It's like WWE, they'll bring in whomever, and it's like, does it really do anything for them?
Yeah,
I mean, they're WWE. Do they really need it? But like Kevin Smith is a pretty big get for AEW in terms of endorsing them as kind of cool.
Especially because I think a lot of the shows coming up are on college campuses, or arenas associated with various colleges.
Yeah.
And that's right in the Kevin Smith wheelhouse,
Yeah. So, anyways,
so they're getting interviewed by Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah, who looks like $1 million in an AEW blazer.
Yeah, man. So they're talking about movie. Jericho's in it. Kevin Smith's like, yeah, Jericho hooked us up with seats. And out walk Jack Evans and Helico. And they're giving them the business.
Yeah.
Jack Evans is just yelling at him.
And he says, you know what, Jay, we think Morris Day and the Time sucks. And then Jason Mewes says, yeah, well, you can't even win a match.
Yeah. And those were fighting words for Jack Evans and Helico. They start getting ready. Fight.
It was a scene out of a Kevin Smith movie.
And then Private Party come down.
Yeah.
And like, I think they were trying to break things up, but it seemed like more like, oh, sorry, Kevin and Jason, you have our seats.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. It looked like they were trying to get past him or something. Yeah. It was awkward and weird, and it was great because it was wrestling.
Yeah.
And it felt very WCW.
It did.
And I'm fine with that. I'd prefer stuff like that over, I don't know. I'm okay with cheesy, corny stuff like that because I'm okay
wrestling. With it so long as the celebrities involved actually seem legitimately excited to be there, and it seemed like at least Kevin Smith was genuinely excited to be there.
He seemed like he was having fun.
Yeah,
yeah. And there was all sorts of shots of him. I don't know if he was there the entire time, but there were all sorts of shots of him during the show, like marking out and having a good time.
Yeah,
and that's what you want.
On Instagram, I think Conrad was sitting ringside. I think I saw him.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think I saw him.
That's funny.
I think it was him. Next, we had SCU standing out in front of the White House. Man, Scorpio Sky.
That was a really good bra.
Yeah, man, it was fantastic.
It was good. He said, what did Cheesy Kazarian said? He said, it's no secret what service we're in.
Yeah.
Because him and Cheesy, Christopher Daniels.
Did you notice Christopher Daniels was mouthing Scorpio Sky's promo when they're back in the arena?
I didn't.
I didn't notice. My wife was watching with me, and she's like, why is he mouthing the words?
That's funny.
I thought they were really writing promos at AEW.
That's hilarious. Scorpio Sky is a freaking star, though.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
At some point, he has to
Well, hopefully this is the start of it because they do an interview in the arena, And Scorpio Sky, he's the one that does most of the talking. He says, people have been asking which two of us of the three of us are going to be in the tag tournament.
Yeah.
He said, I've decided to sit this one out
Yeah.
and let Daniels and Kazarian get the gold. Hopefully that's an opportunity for him to.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Go after some singles pursuits.
Did they say? I forgot. They're doing Cody alluded to like a TV title, didn't he?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyways, Lucha Brothers come out, and they go back and forth with SCU. Pentagon, of course, says Cero Miedo, and then SCU says SCU, and then a brawl breaks out.
Yeah.
These two teams are on opposite sides of the bracket on the tag tournament, so we can get a match beforehand.
I don't know, maybe.
Because best friends versus...
It starts next week. That seems unlikely.
I know.
That seems unlikely.
I mean, I'd be surprised if they were foreshadowing the finals.
Telegraphing the finals? Yeah, I don't know.
Because I wouldn't be surprised next week if XLAX cost the Young Bucks their match against Private Party.
I would think that might be the case, yeah.
And then it's Lucha Bros against Jurassic Express.
Yeah.
Lucha Brothers probably going to win that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be Lucha Brothers versus Private Party. That'd be a fun match.
Yeah, that could be good.
Of course, Dark Order advances to semis. And
Dark Order, I think, is going to go to the... God, I hope they're not the first freaking tag champions, but they might be. I wonder if they really like Dark Order, but if they're going to pull audibles like, man, they're not over.
I know.
Like we were
they're
gonna
not
put
getting the
tag...
reaction they want.
Yeah.
I know that gimmick is not going over. It's kind of falling flat.
Yeah.
Next, Hangman Page taking on Pac. I couldn't get enough of Shivani saying bastard last night.
Him and JR were having such a fun. They were so giddy with the TV 14 aspect of things, because even at the end, JR said BS.
Yeah.
But the actual word. Do we have an ad read today?
No.
Oh, okay, bullshit. That's still light profanity. I can say it.
Yeah. As long as it's not in the very beginning of the video.
You're having a good time saying bastard there, aren't you, Tony? You can say bastard again, Tony.
Yeah.
Say bastard again.
All right. Well, send his Twitter handle so I can see it.
Holy crap! We have almost like 1,000 viewers. That's unheard of for a Thursday show.
I know. Welcome all.
Yay for wrestling.
Yay for wrestling. See, this is the best. People are excited about wrestling again.
Man,
and regardless of what brand you like, or if you like both of them, it's just good to be excited about it.
I'm sorry, man, but yesterday was a blast.
Yeah.
Especially because I was able to watch it on the East Coast feed.
Yeah, I'm going to try that next week.
Yeah, you should. You should. Instead of force it. Because I watched on the East Coast, AEW, and then I took an hour break, and then I watched NXT, the 8 o'clock feed. Mm-hmm. So, and I have to try not to spoil NXT stuff for myself, because if I saw Finn come out to confront Adam Cole Bebe live as it happens, I'd have marked out big time. And that's what I want. I want the mark out experience.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I couldn't watch it, and I want to know what happened, so I was checking my phone when I could to get the results, because I was just curious. So Page versus Pac, decent match. A lot of action outside, throwing each other into the barricade and stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't quite the barn burner that I was figuring we'd get it.
No, I wonder if
All In or whenever it was.
It's supposed to be a double or nothing.
Yeah, because that was
I wonder if they're gonna save that match,
without because it was a kind of a wonk. It was a cheat finish, anyways.
A little bit, yeah. There's a low blow involved, so maybe they want to save this for pay-per-view and really have the barn burner then.
They got to have Page beat a couple of jobbers though, and get his record back up. But yeah, no, it was a decent enough match. But yeah, it wasn't like as barn burnery as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. There's a lot of tossing themselves or each other, into the barricade, brawling ringside and stuff. Yeah, in the end, let me find the thing here. So Pac goes to the outside. Page hits top rope moonsault ringside on Pac. He tosses Pac back in the ring. Page goes for buckshot. Pac avoids it, and then Page pushes Pac towards the rope, but Hebner's there against the rope, so Hebner gets trapped. Page is behind Pac. Pac does the backwards mule kick, low blow.
Yeah.
Follows it up with a black arrow to Page's back. He transitions directly into a brutalizer. He wins.
Hebner was super quick on the counts, because that 2 count here on the power bomb.
Yeah.
With the 2 count. Man, Hebner was going quick on those.
Yeah, man.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah. So if this is a match to set up their blow off or the barn burner match,
bigger feud.
Yeah.
I think
that's fine.
Probably the case too. I think that's probably the case.
Because you don't want to if you got another match planned in the future, you don't want to give them everything you got.
Right.
You want to set it up.
Yeah.
You want people pining for more.
Oh, yeah.
Next, for the women's tournament, the first AEW Women's champion, Nyla Rose taking on Rijo. Britt Baker came out for commentary, although she didn't really say much.
Yeah.
Like when she was asked a question, she would answer, but she wasn't chiming in a ton.
Yeah.
Which isn't nothing wrong with it. Sometimes when people come out for guest commentary spots, I kind of feel like they don't know how to ingrain themselves in the story being woven by commentary. So
yeah,
it wasn't anything wrong. It was just a different approach.
I mean, this is the biggest spotlight for her so far. Like the more reps she gets in terms of just being around that many people.
Oh,
and
for
that
sure.
Kind of spotlight.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the more comfortable you are, the more you're going to yap.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Did you notice in NXT they had some video packet or something, and there was a shot of Britt getting her arm stomped on by Shayna Baszler?
That's funny. I'd heard that on Twitter. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
myself.
I noticed when I was watching last night.
That's rad.
That's probably completely intentional.
Yeah, probably.
There's this great spot early on where Rijo had the upper hand, and Nyla's flat on her stomach on the mat. Rijo goes for a double stomp, and right as Rijo makes impact, Nyla pushes herself up, and then Rijo gets knocked off. That was pretty cool.
I didn't know this. Tommy Johnson just dropped a super chat. Says PS View was clutch with the multi-view option. Didn't know PS View had a multi-view. PS View for me always felt like it was on the verge of crashing.
Really? You can watch both of them at the same time?
He says was able to compare the matches in the order they put them in. There was some symmetry there. It cracked me up. Like MJF and I think Velveteen Dream
had the promo at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Finn came out right as AEW took their first commercial break.
Yeah.
Where was I? Nyla employed the STF a couple times. First time Rijo got to the ropes, and then Rijo sends Nyla out of the ring with two running knees. And they made a point of saying that Rijo had been training with Kenny Omega in preparation for this match.
Which factored in later on.
Yes. She goes up top, goes for a crossbody off the top to ringside. Nyla catches her, which that was an impressive catch because it looked like Rijo was a little short on her jump. So Nyla caught her like this.
Yeah.
Then hits the backbreaker, and then Nyla gets a chair, acts like she's going to hit Rijo with it, which would have got her disqualified.
Yeah.
Ref takes it. Nyla sends Rijo into the barricade, and then she goes to the side of the ring that's facing the ramp, gets a bunch of chairs out, piles them up, puts Rijo on top. She gets on the apron. She does like a senton off the apron, or flipping somersault senton off the apron. Rijo moves, so Nyla just eats a pile of chairs.
Yeah.
And then Rijo hits a double stomp off the apron. They go back in the ring. Rijo hits a double stomp to Nyla's back. Only gets a 2 count, though. Rijo goes for a crucifix pin. Nyla catches it, hits a Samoan drop, gets a 2. Then Nyla hits like the Kenta / Hideo Itami knee off the top, draping Rijo over the top rope. Gets a 2 on that. Nyla goes for a power bomb. Rijo escapes, goes for a roll up, only gets a 2. Nyla hits a DVD, gets a 2. Nyla goes for up top. Rijo hits a bunch of strikes. Hits a really awesome Super Northern Lights suplex. That was cool.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
And then Rijo hits double knees to Nyla's back and then to her face. Pins her, gets the win.
Boom. That little tiny title they got, the little championship belt they got. What do you think of that?
I didn't know it was that small.
I didn't know that going into it, and then I saw pictures of the hands holding it.
Yeah, and then when I saw that, it's like, oh, that's pretty small.
That is small.
It is small.
That is super tiny.
So Michael Nakazawa gets in the ring to interview Rijo, but before he can ask her a question, Nyla lays them both out.
Yeah.
And kind of has to double clutch, but she power bombs Nakazawa.
Yeah.
She starts to go after Rijo, goes on the apron, picks her up. Kenny runs out, starts shouting, "What are you doing?
Yeah. Stop it.
What are you doing?
Why are you doing this?
What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then Nyla goes backstage. So interesting.
Yeah, good stuff. I like that they're making Nyla into this super heel now, big monster heel. I think that's great. Tony Khan confirmed last night that Awesome Kong is signed with the company.
Yep.
She's an employee. She's going to not employee. She is signed with the company.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a pretty big matchup that they could play with there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's really good stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought it was there were awkward bits here and there. But I thought that it was a pretty decent match. I thought it was a really good story they told. And then finally we had our main event, which was the Elite. The Elite.
Yeah, that was the song they came out to, was the Elite theme.
I like that.
Yeah.
They look terrific. They all had matching gear.
Yeah.
Volt. I love Volt, man. I can't get enough of Volt.
Volt's solid color. It pops. You like colors that pop.
I like colors that pop, man.
That's almost a Volt on your Janela shirt there.
I know. Isn't this terrific?
That's a good shirt.
This is Ricardo that did this,
That's
man.
a really cool shirt.
I freaking love this
Yeah,
design.
that's a good shirt.
It's great.
So they're taking on Jericho and XLAX,
Yeah.
Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
Early on, or Kenny's starting the match.
I want to toss this out real quick,
What?
man. Because sometimes, like, the wrestlers are like, I feel like we tried our darndest to promote Juan Ortiz.
Yeah.
Doing our shirt.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
he did an awesome job, yeah.
This shirt right now that I'm wearing on the Instagram, R. Lopez Ortiz. Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. He did like a Black Panther versus Deadpool comic for Marvel.
Oh, wow.
He's done a bunch of like legit comic stuff. He's just like, seriously, if I could be this level of artist, I'd be so like, even like a tenth of this. His stuff is so terrific. There's tons of great like wrestling artwork on his Instagram, and he's a good Twitter follow. He's just a terrific artist. Lots of great influences there. So yeah, check him out. Follow his stuff. It's good.
So the match starts. Kenny in the Elite's corner. He starts the match. Santana's going to start for Jericho's team, and then Jericho at first is like, "All right, tag me in." Mm-hmm. So Santana does so. Jericho acts like he's going to do something, then go and just tag Santana back in. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of gamesmanship there early from Chris Jericho. There's some decent action, but pretty quickly, Kenny's going for his Terminator tope. Moxley comes down to the ring from behind, and Kenny does oh damn,
Yeah,
he's behind me, isn't he?
You know what? Sometimes they do that really bad, like in the past. Like, I'm not going to keep on dumping on WWE, but sometimes they don't really execute that all that effectively. Like, it's like, come on, why do you? Kenny did it really well because he gets up, he's all hyped, and then he understands the crowd is like telling him, "Hey, there's a dude behind you, and it's Moxley."
Yeah,
and so he was like, "What?" And he milked it for the drama. It was really nice. It was good seeing that.
So Mox attacks him. They start brawling. He sends Kenny over the barricade in the crowd. They're brawling towards the backstage area. At one point, Kenny gets the upper hand, and there's a janitor's stuff right there. And it was a mop. It wasn't a broom. It was a mop.
It was a cleaning device on a long pole, man.
It was a mop, not
He's
a
the
broom.
cleaner. He's the cleaner.
So he grabs the mop,
It was close
mops
enough.
the floor,
It's just
and then
the
attacks
same
Mox
thing
with
as a
it.
broom, just with dangly
it's not.
cloth bits
No, it's
instead of
not.
long straw, man. It's the
not.
same thing.
Brooms are used to sweep stuff. Mops are used to mop stuff. They're different things.
It's all
entirely.
cleaning, baby.
It's all cleaning, but different stuff they're cleaning, man.
Tell me that wasn't a freaking direct metaphor.
Well, broom would have been. This is an indirect metaphor. Or allusion to the cleaner. I understand.
All right.
So that happens. Then Mox gets the upper hand. They start brawling back by the VIP area. And then Mox hits a Death Rider / Paradigm Shift, 2 different names and 2 different companies, through this glass coffee table. That was nasty.
Okay, so wait a second.
What?
Paradigm shift.
That's what they, on Twitter, that's what they called it.
Why does it have to be called something different? Does New Japan own Death Rider?
I mean, that's just his gimmick in New Japan. Because on one of his first promo he did after he showed up at Double or Nothing,
He said this
is a paradigm shift. So I guess that's what we're calling his dirty deeds.
All right, there you go. Interesting.
I'm just going by what they said on Twitter. I don't think they said Paradigm Shift last night, but I know they didn't say Death Rider. So
A lot of people are asking why this wasn't a DQ. They had mentioned on commentary a couple times that this was a no DQ match.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I just saw that on Twitter.
I didn't know if there was something inherent to the 3-on-3 6-man that made it a no DQ.
No, based on WB rules, no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I heard in commentary them saying it was no DQ.
It could be. So Kenny's out of the equation. We don't see Kenny again. And then we're back in the ring. Young Bucks have the upper hand, and they're going for a Meltzer driver. Nick is going the springboard off the top rope. Jericho comes in, intercepts him with a code breaker. Now Jericho and XLAX have the upper hand. Jericho hits Matt Jackson with Judas Effect for the win, and then all 3 of them start beating down the Young Bucks, who comes down in a nice looking suit. Mm-hmm. Sans jacket. Mm-hmm. Cody, yeah. He comes out there to make the save.
Some great red bottoms on his shoes.
Yeah, man.
They look great.
So they're all brawling out there. Sammy Guevara comes out. He kicks Cody square in the front area.
Yeah.
And then Dustin Rhodes comes out.
Yes.
To make
Full
the save.
on his makeup and everything.
Great.
Yeah.
To make the save. He kicks Sammy in the front area.
Yeah.
And that's when we see Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger.
Hager.
Is that what I said?
Jake Hager.
Is Hager?
I think it's Hager, isn't it?
Okay. Jake Hager Got used to saying it.
Jack Swagger, man.
Jack Swagger. So he comes to the ring. He drops Dustin. He brawls a little bit, hits a Vader bomb on Cody. They bring in the table that the ring bell was on. And Jack Swagger gut-wrench power bombs Dustin onto it. Doesn't break, though.
Doesn't break.
That probably hurt. That probably hurt.
Yeah.
And then finally Jericho finishes up the beatdown with a Judas effect on Cody.
Yeah.
He'll stand tall to end the show.
For sure.
Tony Khan more or less said at the media scrum following the show, we got a heel stable on our hands.
Yes. Yeah. And they had signed Hager.
Prior to All Out.
And, I mean, I do appreciate, though, they're trying to immediately just associate him with Bellator and not, obviously, his prior stint in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a Jack Swagger fan. He's a tall dude.
Okay.
He's got the college pedigree. Yeah. He's in Bellator. Sure, he might be fighting some lumps, but he's undefeated. He seems legit.
Yeah.
From that perspective.
Yeah.
Like if you just hear his record in Bellator and don't pay attention to the people he's fought.
Yeah.
I've seen like the weigh-in shot of him and against the guy he fought where he's like 6 inches taller.
There's two of them. There's two of those matches were hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's literally, hey, Steve, take your shirt off and maybe eat a couple more cheeseburgers, and that's what you're looking at with these guys. It's hilarious. And he looks like dejected to even have to fight these guys.
Yeah, no.
They were easy wins for him. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Swagger fan either. That being said, sorry.
Oh dear.
That was nasty. That was
shot
gross.
a booger out of your nose. That's gross.
That was nasty. Sorry about that.
Ew.
Sorry. What do you want me to do?
Get a tissue.
Talk about Jack Swagger.
All right. So, granted, neither of us, I think, are huge fans of, or we're huge fans of Jack Swagger.
Talk about the debuting him and then bringing him back down.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. But if they're going to bring him on and not necessarily have him be a featured competitor, i.e. a consistent main event presence, essentially his role last night as debut and main event scene be Jericho's muscle primary henchman, kind of the perfect role for him. So he debuts in this, gets into a program probably with Dustin over the next few months, maybe have a match at Full Gear against Dustin, and then just be Jericho's heavy, essentially.
Yeah, so I mean, look, this is how they did debuts back in the Attitude Era. And I thought they executed them really, really well back then. And for some reason, they don't do this anymore. They debut somebody in a main event position, in a main event storyline area.
Yeah.
And then you bring him back down to where he belongs. In the case of Jack Swagger, it's probably going to be, mid-card to upper mid-card heavy heel guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be challenging for the title.
No.
I think maybe if they are successful enough in the Reclamation Project, maybe it's possible down the line. I just don't see it right now. I think there's enough big names there for them not to be doing that.
Yeah, no. You got this huge crowd, and Steve's like,
I know, right?
Drooling boogers out his nose.
I'm sorry, I'm a mess. Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah. I was sad that Mox didn't make Kenny eat the Bursa sack.
Yeah.
Or he didn't eat it himself.
Yeah, I know.
Did we talk about that on Overrun yesterday?
I think so.
Our predictions episode.
We can't have everything,
Yeah.
But the crowd response to Swagger coming out was solid.
Yeah, they were responding to everything.
Yeah, no.
They were responding to everything.
So in that sense, it worked. Let's take some questions, Steve. From Epico. He says, "Good news. I went to jail last Sunday. We haven't got the story about that yet."
He said, all I saw after that was he was going to sue the town. He's going to sue some town.
Wow.
Man, that's, interesting.
Interesting indeed. Tina Keys, longtime listener, first-time super chatter. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Tina.
Max Monroe, working 2 jobs in school, been missing the live streams. Good to be back, friendos. Well, welcome back, Max.
Welcome back.
Rich Hardesty, the camera work felt like classic WCW framing. There wasn't all the crash zooms and quick cuts that we see on WWE main roster television.
Cody Miles here in the Discord, which you can get access to for $1 on Patreon. What was your favorite match from AEW last night?
It's probably Cody and Sammy.
Me too. I think that was it. Yeah.
I like the little bit of interaction we got between XLAX and the Young Bucks. I think that match at Full Gear is going to be insane.
XLAX is great, man.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're really good.
Nick C. Simon gave a dinosaur down for no Luchasaurus. Simon Miller, I'm guessing.
Let's see here. Cody Miles again. If AEW creates an intro stinger akin to Then Now Forever, what would it say? The Elite. The Elite.
They have to change it to All Elite.
There you go.
Elite.
Let's see here. Okay, so Snake Sosa says the fight coverage on the Fight app kept live feed to the arena during ads without commentary.
I heard that too.
Which I preferred. That I would love. That sounds great.
Is Fight only available for outside of North America, though?
I think it is. I think that feed, I didn't check, but that was a question I had back when they announced it.
Because I know for pay-per-views in North America, you have to order through Bleacher Report Live, but elsewhere it's Fight. Jurgen Johnson here on the Patreon asked what will happen first: 4 horsewomen to AEW, or one of the core 4, Omega, Cody, or the Young Bucks going to WWE. So long as AEW is in business, I don't foresee any of the Elite going to WWE. The only way that would happen, I would feel like, is if
that'd be bizarre.
Is if AEW went out of business.
That'd be bizarre if they did, yeah.
And in the same token, though, I don't see either of the 4 horsewomen going to AEW. Because I just feel like WWE just throws so much money at them and make it a near impossibility.
WWE has so much talent in the women's division that eventually, if a couple of them catch fire and AEW goes like super all in, I mean, that's a possibility. That's a bigger possibility than any of the Elite going for sure. For sure.
Patrick Kennedy says, fantasy draft. Steve, you're drafting for Raw, and Larson, you're drafting for SmackDown. Here are your guys' first 5 picks. We're going to do a mock draft.
We're doing that, man. We got a podium.
Yeah, we got a
podium. We got a freaking podium.
We're going to do that probably up next Wednesday. I think that's what we thought. So we got to shoot that on
either Wednesday or Saturday. Oh, no, Saturday's going to be something else.
Saturday's going to be too late because the draft already started by then.
Yeah, good point.
It's got to be Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
So maybe we'll have to shoot that Friday before SmackDown.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Maybe. I got to prep then.
Monday and two. I mean, I know it's a heavy edit, but like we could shoot it on Monday.
Okay. Talk about
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it is a
crazy time. Crazy time we're living in.
It is. Yeah, I know.
You know what? You know that'd be fun too, is if like we can use. I want this belt to change hands, man. I want this to be up in the air.
All right.
But I was thinking we can use maybe like the point system that Cody Miles has set up.
All right.
For the Discord draft. We can use that and keep track of whose roster does better.
Oh, for our draft?
We draft and it has consequences.
That sounds fair.
Maybe,
yeah. Thomas Dunnigan, who do you think will be the top babyface in AEW by the time 2019 ends? That's only in 2 months' time, because I'm convinced they're still wanting to mold Hangman Page as a top guy of the company. I think that's true, but I think
that's a project.
That's further than 2019, maybe 2021.
Well, right now they've got this Jericho stable versus the
Elite.
The Elite. So, I mean, Cody's got to be like the head.
I think right now he's kind of the top face. I mean, unless Kenny goes full heel, he's going to be the top face in the company.
Yeah, but he's going to be... Okay, so here's the thing. I think Kenny is going to be... Him and Moxley are going to have a thing on the side where the main story of the Elite versus Jericho stable is going to be kind of front and center.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be Cody leading the.
Oh, I think so too.
I
think Kenny might be involved, but he's got this Mox problem he's got to deal with all the time too. Totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think just from the viewpoint, I'm separating it somewhat from the stories being told in terms of the macro view of it.
Sure.
Like Kenny's a top name in the promotion, probably.
I think so.
In terms of face.
Yeah.
Because like Jericho's a top name, obviously. But.
Yeah.
Because Mox is kind of existing, and he's neither heel nor face. He's just Mox. He's a tweener.
Until he eats the Bursa sack. Cody Miles.
Would that make him heel or face then?
To me, a face. To everybody else, by God, a heel. Are you kidding me?
Well, no. If he is ingesting the source of his ailments,
so nasty.
It is nasty.
It's heel.
I don't know if that's heel.
Guys who do gross stuff are heels. Cody Miles, New Japan
wasn't when Vince was trying to get Droz to do the puking thing. That was a face thing, though. That wasn't heel.
These are all good questions. Cody Miles, New Japan has a trademark for Death Rider. Interesting.
Oh, okay. And that's that then.
That's that, Mattress Man. Let's see here. Greg Morris, can we agree that Dustin has some of the best power slams in wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
James Fletcher, build an AEW faction to fight Jericho's. Oh, it's the Elite. It's already there.
Butts. So why did Sammy come out to attack Cody when earlier after their match he didn't join with Jericho? Well, that's
subterfuge.
Yeah, Jericho already had that going on. He didn't want heat in the locker room at that point.
Because at that point, maybe Cody thinks, "Oh, Sammy's out here. Maybe he'll help us."
Yeah. Wrong.
Ollie B, the AEW is running the risk of being a WWE rejects playground now that they have Swagger in Shirley. And why wasn't the sixth man thrown out? There was outside interference when Mox attacked Kenny. That's a DQ in every promotion. Not in All Elite Wrestling.
Apparently not.
That probably wasn't in like PWG either. That probably wouldn't be a DQ. And they didn't really do interference like that. But
Wolfpack for Life said, did you see the pictures of people in the skybox at AEW watching NXT?
Mm-mm.
It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan,
yeah, man. Why choose one when you can watch it all? Oh, here we go. Perry Swift. So what would you change about the aesthetic of AEW? The show was great, but something about the presentation didn't feel right.
Oh, I thought it was beautiful. The only thing I thought could go is the crane shot. Mm-hmm. Crane shot of the ring. I didn't like it when they brought it to SmackDown. I don't like it in AEW.
They had it on NXT last night too.
Yeah, they did. I didn't like it.
Like, I think it looks great. It's lit well. It's very colorful. Make it a little more cinematic.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily just some more depth of field stuff. Mm-hmm. Make it feel like it's got more depth to it. And I understand why you want to have everything sharply in focus throughout the entirety of the arena because you get to see the crowd. I get that.
I'm cool with just them using that in like the video packages that they do are very cinematic. I'm cool with it being more of a sports broadcast, but teach their own. No, I thought it looked amazing.
Wolfpack for Life is Jake Hager. Am I saying it right?
I think it's Hager.
Okay. On par or close to the same level as Lex Luger coming to WCW. No.
No. Really?
No, I think
Luger was doing nothing by the time he left. Remember, this is Luger we're talking about.
I know, but before he went to WWF, Luger was kind of a huge deal in WCW. He had the U.S. title for like 600 days.
Okay, that's a decent point. Yeah, people loved Luger. In like '89, Luger was amazing.
Well, he just screamed into the mic.
Oh, man, you go back and watch a lot. There's a lot of people who come back around to Luger. I think we need to maybe do some more research.
You want to do an editorial on the greatness of Lex Luger?
Maybe. It's all about the positivity, man.
Oh, I'm totally positive.
Positive you don't like Lex Luger.
Double J, how long until Superhuman debuts? That's going to be a while.
I'm still holding back on the Superhuman.
Yeah.
Don't know what's in his past.
Chris Ferreira, how long until an AEW pay-per-view and TakeOver go head-to-head? Might be pretty soon as far as NXT is concerned.
Lord Ziffer, what should Jericho's faction be called?
Bubbly Club.
Bubbly Club.
That's pretty funny.
No, man, you know what? They need to call it something cool and have a cool logo. Have Ricardo here do the logo.
Yeah, man.
You'll sell a ton of those shirts. WWE doesn't learn, man. You can make so much money if you just have cool factions.
I know.
People love factions.
I know. Tina Keys, cable for the U.S. and TSN for Canada, viewers for All Elites. That must be the North American options. You can't do it on Fight, I would suspect.
Yeah, I would think
that's
the
a bummer.
Yeah. There's another question here in chat. Somebody asked, people are asking about the 2K20 gameplay trailer. We're going to do a breakdown of that in our bonus episode, which you can check out for $5. And look, man, I'll be honest with you. like you're not, if you're sitting there, you're like, man, I can't afford $5. You're not really missing much. It's fun. It's sort of non-essential viewing. Well, look, I'm just saying I don't want people to feel bad for not being able to afford bonus episodes.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. While Overrun at times may not be essential viewing, it's a chance to engage and chat and stuff like that.
We enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
It's looser, it's fun. We answer questions, goof off a bit more.
If you really want more going in Raw, $5 is not that bad to pay.
No.
And it is, it is out there. I mean, in a nutshell, feels like they added some cool stuff to the previous game. But we're going to do a detailed breakdown.
Yes, shot by shot, frame by frame.
Shot by shot, frame by frame.
I'll get the telestrator out, all that.
Exactly. But it is a good time. No, I love our bonus content. It is a good time. We have Ask Stephen Larson. We're going to start doing some gaming bonus content. Again, it's stuff that, hey, if you're really into it, pony up $5, you get to check it out.
And if you're not, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. You're not missing much.
Exactly.
Anyways. I don't want anybody to feel bad.
No.
But we put plenty of content here for free, gratis.
Exactly.
Right here on the channel.
Exactly.
And we're not going to stop doing gaming content here, free, gratis on the channel.
It's just going to take a different form.
It's going to be a different form, and then we're going to do a little bit more of it in the bonus stuff. So, yeah.
Yep. Mr. Dope says Overrun is worth it. So,
Mr. Dope says, it's Overrun is worth it.
Endorsement for Mr. Dope.
I like it.
It's
Tim
fun.
Spulak here says it's 30 minutes of Steve's picking his nose.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wayne Maker, last super chat one on this one. Mod Battle Royal. Who goes over?
Not you. Just not. You're the first. He's immediately eliminated.
Alex C is the tallest of all our mods, yes?
Correct. He's probably the most difficult to throw out.
Yeah, I'd probably give him the edge.
Yeah. Probably.
Anyways, we got an NXT review we're going to do.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. If you're watching this live,
right away.
We're not going anywhere. So yeah, I'll just say this: we'll roll the Patreon thing. I'll stop recording, then we'll be back, and then we'll run the intro.
I think I have to go use the men's room real quick.
Oh, okay. So it'll just be me. Okay, cool.
Just for a couple. Just
okay,
for like
that's totally
30
cool.
seconds.
I'll rap with the people.
That's fine. It's gonna be super quick.
All right,
I
here
had
we
a cup
go.
of coffee and like half this thing of water.
Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching the VOD of this, our NXT review is up right now. We're putting these up at the same time. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later. Live audience, don't go anywhere.
Bye.